Good afternoon, Leeds Geeks. My name is Eric Hegg with Leeds Geeks here in Fargo. We also have joining us Jim, the legendary Renfro, and Cody Meyer. Today, we're going to talk about a psychological aspect of going for the close in the phone conversation. And one of the key components of that is implementing the use of the herd effect. So, what is the herd effect? That's kind of basically reiterating to them what they said, what they stated their pain points were, and then reassuring them that it's nothing new to us and reminding them that we are fully capable of handling those situations. So we're going to go through a couple of examples. Jim, what other input do you have?
Yeah, no, I think that was explained really well. So the herd effect to me is just really rephrasing and restating what we've talked about. So we'll go through a couple examples. I'll let Eric and Cody kind of go first, and I'll wrap it up with a couple as well. And it's really about taking what people have said and just letting them know that, hey, we heard you. Here's what I hear, and here's what I've done for a lot of other people. So, Eric, take it over.
All right. So one of the most common ones that I use is for first-time home buyers. A lot of times, first-time home buyers are renting. They are sick and tired of renting. They don't like sharing walls with neighbors, and they want to start building up some equity. So what we would do, or what we would say to wrap up the conversation, is something like this. Hey, Jim, something that I've done for a lot of first-time home buyers that are just really sick and tired of throwing away rent money and sharing walls with noisy neighbors is have them come in, sit down with one of my agents, and come up with that game plan to get you out of your apartment and get you into your own place where you're free to make changes without getting your landlord's approval, and maybe you'll finally get some peace and quiet there. Is that something that you think could help right now?
Yeah, definitely. So, Eric, why don't you kind of talk about one, or Cody, why don't you share some of yours? And also keep in mind, guys, these are what people have said. Eric is giving examples from conversations he said. If that first-time home buyer really was sick of the commute and they wanted to live closer to their job, and they were looking for a house that was in their company's neighborhood, that's what we would have used. So it's really taking whatever they said and rephrasing and reflecting it, and then making sure, basically, is there a benefit to that, so people could see, hey, this is something that's going to benefit me to sit down.
Yeah, so one of the areas that I find that this really knocks it out of the park, especially is with expireds and cancels. I find that, being able to reiterate everything, right at the end. Jim, I understand that you're frustrated with the way that your house was marketed. It's a beautiful house. I think we can do a lot here. What we've done in the past for folks who, are a little bit frustrated that their house isn't moving, is have them come in and sit down with one of my listing agents and give us a chance to show you our marketing plan, what we do that might be a little bit different than what you have now, and get your house sold fast. Would that benefit you, Jim?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and so that's something that I've always heard too, is basically whatever pain point that expired is having, or that canceled had, is using that. So I mean, whether it was bad communication, whether it was no marketing, whether it was overpriced, it's basically, hey, what we've done for a lot of other people. I'm not saying, hey, we've helped a lot of other people with this, is have you come in and basically, so what we've done for other people, stating, hey, we've helped a lot of other people do this. Their pain point, hey, these people have actually heard what I've said. And then come up with a game plan. A game plan is going to be whatever it is to them, whether it's a meeting, whether it's writing stuff out, whether it's signing contracts, it's whatever game plan is in their head. And then, is this a benefit to you? And then basically connecting the whole picture and seeing, hey, these guys have heard us. They've helped a lot of other people like us. And basically, we're going to come up with a game plan to get this problem solved. And that is beneficial to me. And so that's why we use this type of closing. And if you do these conversations right, you don't need to use this closing, because the people will close themselves, because you're actually taking the time and learning more about them, and actually treating them like a human instead of a number.
Absolutely. What are some other examples that we can give our listeners here? Anyone have want to do one for relocating or growing family, getting out of a starter home? I feel like I talk to people relocating all the time, especially since we have an Air Force base in one of our areas. So I could sympathize with with that, when the quick turnaround, and I usually do something like this, like, hey, Cody, what we've done for a lot of people that are relocating here to the Air Force Base, and I know you got that quick turnaround, you're still waiting for last minute details to be ironed out with orders, is since you're moving in from out of the town, do you think it would help if I set up a phone consult with my agent Amber, who she comes from military background as well, grew up in a military family. She can get you set up on a search, so when you and your wife are coming into town, you can see as many houses as possible for that weekend. You're not wasting your time, and then we can make sure that you guys actually have a place to move into and to get settled into before you have to start work up again. Is that something that you think could help right now?
Yes. I think one of the things I think one of the things it does really well is that it not only presents and reframes my problem, but it also shows the solution. I know that you have a solution and that your team is going to have a solution, and that you heard my problem. And if there are things missing, then I can push back on that and say, hey, what about this? You can address that, bring it all back together. So.
Yeah, let's actually talk about that. I mean, it's very, very rare for us to get pushback at this phase. But let's talk about if people do push back. So Eric or Cody, why don't you ask me that question, and we'll kind of go over. Actually, I'm going to ask you that question. So let's pretend I called Cody. I found out that Cody's a first-time home buyer. He is sick of renting because his neighbor upstairs are keeping his baby up, and he wants to get into his first house. So, hey, Cody, what we've done for a lot of other first-time buyers who have noisy neighbors upstairs keeping their kids up is have you come into our office, sit down with the buyer's agent, and come up with a game plan to get you into that house, so we can, do that for you and your family. Is that something you think would be a benefit for you?
I don't know. It seems a little bit soon. I'm not thinking about moving for like another 3 or 4 months. My lease doesn't end until December. It might be a little bit sudden for that.
Okay. Yeah, you said your lease ends in December, Cody. I mean, what else would hold you back? Why the pushback?
I guess I don't know. I'm a little bit nervous about all this. This is the first time I've ever bought a home, and I paid for most things in cash, and I've been pretty responsible with my money. So I'm a little bit worried about, getting a big mortgage and doing all that, and I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a scary step. It sounds like, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And this, these type of meetings are no pressure. It's whatever's best for you. Really, what we're going to show you is talking about, here's a game plan to get you into if that's what you want. And if it's not what you want, hey, that's fine. We're not going to pressure you into it. It's a big financial step.
Yeah, I think I could do that. That'd be okay.
So, I mean, usually at that point, if there is any pushback, it's because maybe there is just a little bit of hesitation, maybe move too quickly. That's often what I see is people try to do this after 2 or 3 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes. And you have to have that long conversation. This has to be after 8, 9, 10 minutes of conversation, or else you're going to move too quickly and people are going to feel like it's a sales pitch instead of feeling like, hey, these guys really understand me. They really heard me and they're just like me. So, yeah.
And I think building on Jim, what you said, if you're getting pushback at this point, that should be a big red flag for you that, hey, I'm really weak at this part of the conversation. Especially my first 6 months, I found like this was doing the herd effect at the end was one of my biggest indicators of what am I losing focus on? What am I not doing well? And that was, it was a really good one for bringing everything all together at the end. And then also as kind of a, temperature gauge for the conversations that I was having as well.
Let's talk about that. And Cody, what did you literally do around the office and in your life?
So this is to this day, I like to just use the herd effect on Jim. Jim, what we've done for a lot of folks who are thinking about putting role play content is out there, is just have them come in and sit down with Eric and I, kind of get that game plan together so we can get your ISA stuff out on the internet and you can be more popular at high school. Do you think that would benefit you at all? I got Robbie, I got him really good the other day. He didn't see it coming, and I just right out of left field. It was awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, these guys still do it to me where they'll herd effect pretty much on everything. And It was annoying at first, but they got better and then better and better and better and better on it. And now it's just second nature. And now it's just playful and it's fun, which is what we like to do here. We have to have fun while you're doing this too. So, Eric, what else you got to add? Maybe wrap this up a little bit.
I've talked to quite a few people where they feel like they've maybe connected with other realtors, whether it was through Zillow or some sort of lead source, and they didn't feel like that person understood the urgency or seriousness of their situation, because once someone has made up their mind that they're going to buy, they're going to buy. And if they need to buy and it's a short timeline, they want to make sure that you understand how serious they are and that you're going to be there to communicate in a prompt manner. So we see that a lot with people relocating, or sometime where it's driven on a timeline where they want to move before the end of summer, before the kids start school, stuff like that. And utilizing the herd effect to hit those pain points of, you're validating what their pain points are. And you're saying, I heard you say that you're worried about this. We're going to take care of that. So you're not going to have to worry about that when you're working with us. And really just gives people the warm and fuzzy, but goes a long ways in making sure that they show up for that appointment and, you know, sign on with you to work with your team. Comment below. Let us know, you know, what you guys think. And as always, subscribe for more content. We're going to start putting out a lot more now that busy season is over. So let us know what you think, and let us know what would help. From all of us here at Leads Geeks, we hope you have a wonderful day.